taking time to get comfortable in a seated position. Right, so just noticing the props that would serve you. Support you. I love sitting up on something. It enables me to, when I sit cross-legged, for my knees to drop lower than my hips, which really feels good to my low back and my hips. For those of you who have some knee challenges, sitting cross-legged in any way can be really challenging. You do have the option to take the legs out in front of you. You may want to sit off the bolster. But when we're centering at the beginning of class, it's really important that we find a way to be comfortable. And I don't know if this is very comfortable for very long. The beauty of being on Zoom and being at home is that you may have a chair nearby. Maybe you'd like to just sit on a sofa or sit on a chair during centering. And you always have the option to lie on your back. So if finding any kind of a seated position isn't an option this morning, you can stay or come onto your back, and then when we begin the practice, when we begin to move, come up and join us. All right, so really taking a moment to check in to your truth and how to begin your practice this morning. And then once you find that comfortable seat, softly close the eyes. Let's place our palms down on our thighs. And just take a moment to drop inward, so go inside. This is very much an inner journey. Allowing ourselves to let go of the external world for a while. And nurture our internal world. Notice where you may be carrying any tension and just invite those places to relax. Each breath out, the body surrenders a bit more into the present moment. Letting go of the to-do list for the rest of the day. And allow this practice to gift you with what you need this morning, even if you're not sure what that is. Trust it. Take a moment now to follow your breath in and out of the body. No need to shape it, lengthen it. Just simply follow its own natural rhythm, in and out. As you follow your breath and become more and more present, I'm going to share with you a little bit about the energies in this new moon today. It was at 8:16 this morning, and it's in Sagittarius. So it's a tricky new moon, magnified by the solar eclipse, but really good for spiritual prayers and work. The positive aspects are the potential for an uplifting of energy and vibration into an experience of great unity, spiritual connection, and personal clarity of action. The negative aspects and ones to watch out for include delusion, addictions, despair, or a very confused and foggy mind. So work with your spiritual practices, even though they may not be focused on anything solid or particular. Prayers for improvement may be enough. And the practice itself will give you a sense of purpose and grounding. Work with the sun as the powerful masculine that works with the feminine aspect of the moon. Here's that balance. Do what you can during this powerful time to become clear on your actions and inspired by your imagination and your intentions. Put boundaries against others' delusions and projections, and watch your own. You may want to spend some quality time by yourself today, out in nature if you can, or at least in a place where you feel supported and nurtured with little interference from others. You can also think of this time as a completion of a certain chapter in your life and allow what is dissolving to release. And in that release, we make space for something new. And that's a lot about what the new moon is about, is creating that space, manifesting something new to enter into our lives. So take the backs of your hands to your thighs, palms up. Reflecting on what was shared, what I read, it was from the Power Path School of Shamanism, to give them credit for that. And to notice what intrigued you, what stuck with you, what was something that you resonated with that I may have shared. And maybe there's just an overall sense of something. Take a moment to sit with that and allow it to be your guiding intention for practice this morning. This may be a letting go or a release of something. This is what Carmilla and I are working on. And as we let go and release something that's no longer serving us, or something that's holding us back or blocking us, we can be open to this new moon and its energies and what it has as gifts for us. So in the gentleness of this practice and the soft flow of this practice, allow that intention to be moving with you and through you. So the reading I'm going to share here is from Dana Falls in her book, One Soul, and it's called Let Go of Something. Let go of something somewhere. Use yoga to become aware, to touch what lies beneath the surface of the skin. Is there tension, longing for release? A knot of fear so deep and familiar that you believe it's part of who you are? Ease into dark corners, locked rooms, unexplored hallways. Gain entry not by force or will, but by softness. Enter on the wings of breath and turn the key of self-acceptance to let go of something, somewhere. Breathing into that idea of letting go, creating space for something that can serve you today. If you are lying on your backs, I'll invite you to come up to a seated position here for a moment. We're going to connect in with our breath. And we're going to begin with placing the right hand on the lower belly, the left hand on top. So as we were chatting before class, the right side of the body represents the masculine and the left represents the feminine. On December 21st, we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and so we will be moving into more feminine energy on the planet. And what does that mean for each of us as individuals and as a whole? And with the left hand on top of the right, we're covering the feminine softly, gently over the masculine. Both are important, both energies are important. We just want to look if one tends to dominate. And are you willing to breathe into the idea of the feminine? And I want you to be in your own truth of that, your own description of what that feels like and what that means. We'll talk more in depth about that next Monday. Right here, breathing into the belly so that you feel the belly expand on your inhale and softly contract back toward the spine and exhale. right here, embracing the energy of the feminine and a willingness to soften. We're going to take this into a bit of a moving meditation, so that as you inhale, the hands move away from the belly, just opening up like you're holding a ball of soft energy in front of you. And then exhale, draw the belly back in, left hand on top of the right. Inhaling, we open to receive. Exhale, soften into that receiving. Inhaling, open, and exhaling, softly contract. And just be with the energy that arises for you. You might have another description for this. And we don't even have to describe it. Can you just be in the sensations and the feeling of breathing with the rhythm of your own breath and the belly and the hands expanding and moving back in. Eyes softly closed, dropping in. And I really invite you to be guided with this in a way that feels right for you, and just noticing if the hands want to be still or begin to make a larger movement. I was playing with this in my own practice, and it was really beautiful. It just felt so feminine, so flowing, and trusting will be guided in a way that feels right for us, right? So it becomes more, meditation isn't or doesn't need to be this formal, rigid structure. Matter of fact, for women, that doesn't really serve us. And so notice if you have the desire to enlarge in that circle with your arms, just opening the heart and coming back in. And it's going to stay here for another minute or so. I'm just moving in a way that resonates with you. Be guided from within, be guided from your heart, not your head. An inhale is an expansion, whatever that means to you, whatever that looks like. And the exhale is a soft contraction. It's all gentle, it's all flowing. It's open to this new moon, it's open to this new direction the world is taking. It's not going to be painless. It is happening though, so the less resistance we can have to this shift of energy, the more ease we will have in our own lives. Let's take 2 more breaths here. On the next exhale, left hand on top of the right. Take a moment to breathe and just feel. Relax the hands back onto your lap and in palms up or down or any position you'd like to. Release. Let's release the right ear to the right shoulder. Just allow the head to hang its own weight. We're not going to increase that with our hand or anything. Just allow the ear to rest towards that shoulder. Notice what stretch you're experiencing through the left side of the body. Notice any tension that you may find there you didn't even realize was there. We walk around with certain areas of the body tight all the time. We kind of forget about them. And I know I carry a lot of that up in this area. Just breathe into that, and then you can allow the left arm to hang off your side. And just dropping that shoulder, relaxing that shoulder, that might have increased the stretch. That might be enough for you. Or you can take that hand and start to walk it out away from you. And you might feel the stretch move into the arm, down the shoulder a little farther. Breath is long and steady, smooth and slow. Walk the hand back in, bring it back to your lap, take the head upright. Feel that side, just notice the sensations as we come back to neutral. And then left ear to left shoulder. Take a few breaths, notice what's coming up for you on this side. It could feel quite different, just breathe here. And then maybe the arm hangs off the side or off the shoulder there. See how that feels. If that's enough of a stretch, stay here, or you can walk the hand out away from you. Smooth, slow, steady breaths in and out through the nose. And I've also been offering recently the exhale through the mouth. So notice what's resonating with you. And then walk that back in. Hand back to the lap, head upright. And again, just notice the echo. Feel the echo. So now let's rotate the head right and left. Just very slowly look over the right shoulder, look over the left. Just notice your range of motion here. And then we'll bring the head back to neutral. And let's do a little bit of our fascia work here, because I know a lot of you really appreciate this, especially with the neck. So we'll take the heel of the hand to the right side of our head. We're going to press the head into the hand. Now I'm very tall in my spine, including my neck. So everything's lengthened, an engagement of the core. I'm going to press the head into the hand. So I'm going to draw that ear to the shoulder, but the hand's pressing back. I kind of have to work to get there. And then the hand's going to press into the head while the head resists coming back to neutral. Just a total of 4. Keep breathing. Moderate pressure in both directions. Core engaged. Spine long. Breath flowing. When you've done 4 rounds there, relax the right hand. Feel. And now let's do the same thing on the other side. Heel of the left hand to the left side of the head. Nice and tall, core engaged. 4 rounds. Press down as the hand resists. Press up as the head resists. Keep breathing. After 4 rounds, release the hand. Now we'll come back to the right hand, heel of the hand to the front right corner of the forehead. And now we're going to rotate with that same resistance. Rotate to the right as the hand resists, but you're going to take that gaze over the shoulder and back to gazing front again. Spine long, core engaged, breath flowing, just 4 rounds. And then after that 4th round, you'll switch, do this on the other side. Rotating. I'm always amazed I get snap, crackle, pops kind of adjustments that happen. And when you've gone 4 rounds on that side, release. And now go ahead, right ear to right shoulder. Just notice if anything shifted. Come back up through neutral, left ear to left shoulder. Notice if anything shifted on the right side. rotate. Right and left, and again, noticing if anything shifted. Back to neutral, back to center, breathe and just feel. So as I promised, let's do our 3 immune points. We're going to work on this for the whole month of December. So the first point we're going to work with is the Hegu point. So we're going to gently massage the fleshy point between the thumb and the first finger. All right, I'll come a little closer. Some of you are new to this month, so just massaging that fleshy point of the hands right in there. Just gently, thumb and first finger, second finger, either way. Keep breathing. And then switch, and we'll go to the other hand. So this is really nice for the immune system. And so all points that we're going to do are nice for the immune system. And then the next part of this we do is I'm just taking my thumb and finger and just bringing them together. About 30 times on one side. Keep breathing. And then after that we switch, go the other way. Good, and then relax that and just feel. Notice the sensation in the hands or if it's even spreading to any other areas of the body. Okay. So now we'll go to the Niguan point, and if you take your 3 fingers from the crease of your wrist down, 3 fingers, just at the base or the bottom of that 3rd finger, there's the Niguan point. This is good for heart and our heart health as well as the immune system, and we're just going to gently massage that point. The breath is flowing, just gently massage that point. I think we could all feel better with knowing that we're doing anything we can to boost our immune system. So these points are really helpful. Of course, keeping our stress as low as possible is also very important right now. And then we take that same wrist where we're massaging, and you're just going to take your flat fingers flat and just gently tap. And then we'll move to the other side. 3 fingers down, and then just gently massage that point. You might notice some tenderness in these points too, when it happens. And then again, just nice tapping on that point. Good. So the last point, we'll just have our knees bent, okay, out in front of us. If you take your palms over the kneecaps, notice where your ring finger lands. And just below that, we're going to knock. So just very soft fists. We're just knocking on that point. Zusan Li. This is a longevity point as well as the immune system. Just take a couple more nice deep breaths here. And we will continue to do these every practice through the month of December. You should have them down pretty well by now for those of you who have attended the last few classes. So you can always do these on your own at home because they're most beneficial if you can do them every day. Okay, so then just release that and feel. Good. Remove anything you're sitting on, and I'd like us to come to standing this morning. Let's come on up. And I'll adjust my camera here. All right, so let's stand with our feet almost shoulder width apart. Okay, so a little wider than we're used to. We always speak of hip width apart. I'm going to invite you to take them a little wider, arms by your side. Find your breath. Nice tall spine, engagement of the core, and feet firmly planted into earth. Okay, so connecting into that earth energy, a place where we can feel grounded, supported, nourished, connected, solid. Right? And then from our hips, we're going to start to sway the hips side to side. Knees are softly bent, please. This is in particular for some of those of you here who I know lock your knees. So make sure you keep those soft. And you're going to notice the arms just begin to follow. Okay, so I'm not making my arms swing. That's happening naturally as I generate the energy or this movement from my core. The upper body is very relaxed. So we feel that sense of solidity through the legs and the feet, being planted, strong, solid, and then the upper half of the body gets to just flow. Okay, there's an ease and a flow. And then from here, what we'll start to do is make very soft fists with your hands. And now we'll deliberately bend the elbows so that the front hand, as you twist around, gently knocks on the belly. Right? And the back hand, as it's coming around, knocks on the low back, right? And we just switch. So now we're bending the elbows. The arms are still swinging with the rhythm of the hips, generating the movement, but now we're just deliberately bending the elbows a bit to knock on the belly and the low back. Nice for digestion, to get our energy flowing. Just a couple more here. Nice deep, full breaths. And just enjoy the ease of this, okay? All of this is about creating ease in our bodies, in our hearts, in our minds. And then slow that down. Allow the arms to hang by your side. And just notice the energy. So let's gather up. Inhale, open wide, palms down to begin with. We're pulling up from the earth. And slowly the palms rotate, facing up towards the sky. Exhaling as we flood the body with relaxation, with health, with healing, with your intention today. All right? And a few more rounds like that. Inhaling. And exhale. Just filling every cell with what you need today. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Good. Pause. We're going to add on to that a little bit so that as we inhale, we bring the arms shoulder height. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. So as I instruct you through this, just keep your breath flowing. And you want to imagine the hands are actually resting on something. So there's not a lot of strain here. They're like sitting on blocks or on a wall. We rotate the palms up. Start to extend up, gaze up. We hold here, lengthening, stretching, opening the heart and the lungs. And then we're going to go ahead, bend the elbows, press the hands to the ceiling. So we're going to press up, gaze straight ahead, and come up onto the balls of the feet. So a little bit of balance here, coming up onto the toes, waking up our feet. And then the palms face down, soften all the way back down. Okay. The inhale, arms come up shoulder height. Hold, rotate the palms up. Exhale, reach up, gaze up. Inhale, press up and lift the heels, gaze straight ahead. And exhale, lower it all down. All in a relaxed manner. One more time. Inhale. Hold. Palms rotate up. Exhale, reach and gaze up. Inhale, lift and press up as you gaze straight ahead. And exhale, everything softens down. And just feel that. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll bring our feet more to hip width apart, and let's come into some of more warm-ups now, moving into our half salutations. Inhale, reach up. Take a hold of one wrist. Exhale, fold to the opposite side. So we're just going to move our spine in all directions. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold to the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. Slow and mindful. Inhale, small lift of the heart, slight tuck of the tailbone. Just a soft, gentle back bend. Exhale as you run the hands down the back of the legs, folding forward. Our first forward fold of the day. Let's hang out on this one for a moment. Allow the head to relax. The palms can be on the floor, they might be in a block. You might find a modified forward fold and only come halfway. Maybe the hands rest on the thighs. Really listen to what's serving you this morning. Just feeling a nice stretch to the back of the legs and breathing into the back body. You can circle the head here, one direction and another. It's releasing any tension in the neck. Hands to your shins, just below the knees. Press the hands into the shins to lengthen the spine, lift the heart. And exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up to standing. Lengthen the spine, reaching up. Take a hold of one wrist and exhale to the other side. So let's just flow through this for a couple more rounds. Inhaling. And exhale. Slow, mindful movements with the breath. Inhale back up. Exhale wide. Inhale, lift and open the heart. Moving with our intention this morning. Exhale, fold forward. Honoring the energies of a new moon and what they feel and mean to you. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, release. Inhale, coming back up. We'll go one more round. Exhale. Just a soft, gentle, flowing movement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale halfway and exhale fold. Inhale, coming back up. Bring your palms together overhead. Exhale into your heart. Pausing here. And you also have the opportunity, if this resonates with you, instead of palms together, right hand on the heart, left hand on top. Self-love, self-compassion, feminine resting on top of the masculine, softening, finding a gentleness towards ourselves and others. So I'm going to introduce you to a new movement this morning that I've been working with in my Qigong practices that when I first started doing it was kind of hard to get, and then once I really let myself go, it's really been amazing. And it's called the spinal wave. So I'm really going to ask you all to tap into your feminine, even our token male here today, And so I'll start sideways so you can see this. Matter of fact, I'll take this off here. Okay, so I'm standing probably about hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. Okay, we're going to start by, we bend the knees and then we start to move forward with the hips. And we let that wave move all the way up the spine, shoulders, neck, and then the arms come forward. So it just becomes this whole spinal wave. Just relax and soften into this. There's no, we don't have to force anything here. It's meant to be very flowing and very feminine, very gentle, really creating it with ease. And I know I tend to work so much from my masculine, and it's something I'm working on, is to soften. So when I first started this, I struggled with it. I didn't know how to really just let go into this way that it's becoming easier and easier. So I just invite you to play with it, do the best you can with it. Wonderful way. We're all on our own space at home. And just kind of moving here through the spine. You don't have to breathe in a particular direction so much as just make sure that the breath is flowing. We're not holding it. And just a couple more. Asking the spine to be supple, right, instead of rigid. And then finding your way back to standing. And just feel that wave of energy, or whatever you're noticing. All right. So let's go ahead, come to the front of our mats. Okay. Turn my plant here. I'm always coming into my leaves. Okay, so feet are hip width apart, arms by your side. Inhale, reach up, palms together, and exhale, fold forward. Placing the palms into the floor on either side of your feet, and step the right foot back, right knee down, so a low lunge. We'll just come into our lunge rock here in slow, gentle movements back and forth. We exhale as we draw back, and we inhale as we come forward. We want to be safe in that left knee, so just make sure your stance is wide enough that that knee isn't coming way out in front of the toes. Right? We don't have a lot of weight on it here, so if it's coming to the toes, that's okay. And just being careful. And all we're going to do, just a couple more back and forth, since you mentioned sciatica, Marilyn. We just want to really take care of that and finding that supple spine and moving through. Stretching in the hamstring and the hip flexors can all affect the low back. And then from here, simply find your way to hands and knees. Okay, palms in the floor. And let's do a little cat-cow. Inhaling as we soften the heart towards the earth, lift the head and the tail. Exhaling as we round. So we should feel fairly loose in our spine here at this point from all the various warming up that we did. And then when you're ready, we'll take this into our Chakravakasana. Exhaling, draw the tailbone or the sits bones back towards the heels. And inhale back up. There's a sense of floating here. Rather than this movement being forced muscularly, can you find it being created more energetically? Can you connect into your heart's intention and allow that to guide the movement as well as your breath? And the next time you come back up, let's just find that flow that we do here, circling the hips around. several times in one direction and then another. Or you can find side to side movement through the spine. You can stay with Chakravarkasana if that's resonating more with you. And just finding a little creativity in the body with the breath and moving in a way that feels good for you. Softly, gently. And when you feel complete with that, we'll go ahead and find our way into down dog. So curl the toes under, take the tailbone high into the sky, and we'll walk this one out. Right, so this first down dog is just nice to pedal the feet in and out of the floor, bend the knees, move through the hips and the spine and the shoulders. Let go of finding a perfect form and just be in the flow of the practice. Yoga was created by men for men. And now we have an opportunity to start to tap into the feminine, what that means for us as a society, on this planet at this time. Right? Things need to change and shift, creating different reality. So from hands and knees or from down dog, step the right foot up to the front of your mat, left knee down. So we're in the low lunge on the opposite side. And we'll find this movement here, rocking back and forth. Inhale, heart opens, head lifts. Exhale, draw back as we fold over that front leg. Inhale, flow forward, and exhale, softly release back. Check out the alignment of the front knee, keeping it safely behind the toes, or at least not in front of them. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and step the left foot forward, the back foot forward. You're in a forward fold, hanging out over the thighs, lengthening the spine, head relax. Even relax the shoulders. Just really you can bend the knees as much as you need to. You can use a block, but just a gentle forward fold that enables you to really hang out here for a moment. And when you're ready to come back up, we're going to do so on an inhale. Your arms can either be by your side or open wide. As we inhale up, out into the heart. Pause and feel the breath here for a moment, just noticing the practice. Your choices, feel the echo of the choices you're making for yourself today. And again, inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Left foot steps back, left knee to the floor, and inhale, come up. So a low lunge. Now you can keep your hands low today if you'd like to on the thigh. Maybe a placement at the heart. Traditional, overhead. Right, all these options to find the expression that's really speaking to us this morning. It may be opening the arms and the heart. It could be even interlacing the hands behind you. Wherever you're choosing to express the pose, find your breath and enjoy it. Just drop into your practice, breathe into it. On an exhale, fold forward. Press back into down dog. Walk that out a little bit. So letting go a bit of form or perfection in the form to find fluidity and flow. And then either from hands and knees or down dog, we'll step that left foot up, right knee down, and float up when you're ready. And to the expression on this side. It doesn't have to be the same as the other side. Okay, so you can find a different expression here. Wherever you're choosing to land, breathe. Breathe into your heart's intention today. Stay as present as you can to the gift of this practice. And on an exhale, fold forward. Back foot steps up. Again, take a moment, hang out, standing forward fold, relax the head, the shoulders, spine drapes over to the thighs. A soft stretch in the back of the legs, so that may mean bending the knees more. Meet your body where it is today. We don't have to force it to do anything. Really listen to what serves it. And then arms by your side or out wide, lengthen the spine, engage the core. Inhale, come up. And bring it all into the heart. Just feel the practice. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Right foot steps back, right knee to the floor. Inhale, come up, bring your hands to your left thigh. Okay, we're going to bring the outside of the right hand, or the palm of the right hand to the outside of that left knee. Left hand behind you. Do the best you can, the shoulders drop down and back so the heart opens. Knee and the hand are pressing into one another, and that action starts to create a twisting motion, drawing the heart to the left, opening the heart to the left, and then you can take the gaze out that left shoulder. Find your breath and a nice low lunge with a twist. And notice if you have the desire to move in and out. You can inhale, unwind, and exhale back into the twist. That's an option. If at this point in the practice you're feeling the desire to find the twist and just hold steady, feel free to do that. Trust that inner teacher that each of you have to make the wise decisions, which comes from our heart and our intuition, much less from our heads. Let's take 2 to 3 more breaths here. Can you find the ease in the practice with your breath? On an exhale, unwind. And press back into down dog, walking that out again. This time, let's go ahead, come to the knees. And if it's available to you, exhale, draw back into a child's pose. Just feel that first twist. Allow yourself to unwind and just take a few breaths here. If child's pose isn't comfortable for you today, you can always come onto the belly. Just breathe there. On your next inhale, come back up to hands and knees. And we'll go ahead and bring the right foot forward, low lunge. Come on up. So your hands to your right thigh. All right, so we're going to twist in the opposite direction. Palm of the left hand to the outer edge of that right knee. Right hand behind you, spine tall, core engaged. Keep that spine elongated when we move into twist. Exhale, start to press the hand and the knee into one another. And you'll feel that action starts to twist the heart around, shoulders stay down and back, and the gaze out that back shoulder. Now you can, again, you might hold, or you might enjoy moving in and out of the twist. Slowly, as we exhale, we move into the twist. And as we inhale, we move out. So you decide, movement or stillness. Either way, we're inviting a sense of ease. Let's take a couple more breaths on this side. And on your next exhale, fold forward. And again, now come back to hands and knees. And either release onto the belly or back into a child's. Pause and just feel the echo of the practice. You have the option to, whether you're on your belly or in child's pose, to place one hand on top of the other and rest your third eye there. It lifts the head just a little bit, which can be nice. And that gentle pressure on the third eye, or the area between the eyebrows, it can help to quiet the mind down a bit. And just breathe into the belly. Feel the back body expand. Just notice the practice so far. Checking in. Let's just do a little more flow, and then we're going to come on to our backs. So finding your way to hands and knees, I'd like to just invite you into our mini flow that we do, moving at your own pace, your own rhythm, and add anything you'd like to, change it up if you want to, just trust that inner teacher. We inhale, I'm going to go through the basics and you can take it from here. We inhale from hands and knees, curl the toes under, exhale, down dog. We inhale, back to hands and knees, and exhale into child's. So a little creative play here, have some fun. We inhale to hands and knees. You can even extend the heart forward, lengthening the spine, and then exhale into down dog. Inhaling back to hands and knees, exhale into child's. Another thing you can add here is inhaling as you come up from child's, inhaling, reaching overhead up from the knees, and woo, exhale, fold to one side. Right, so kind of a mini half salutation in between that mini flow. So I'm just throwing out ideas, but honestly, you can create whatever you'd like to here, whatever is resonating with you. Tap into that inner teacher, move in a way that serves you. Close the eyes if you feel safe doing so. So you really drop into this practice that's yours. Don't even worry too much if you're breathing in the right direction so much as you keep the breath flowing. Do what comes naturally to you. Take about 4 5 more breaths here on your own, trusting the guidance from within. Find your way into a child's pose if you haven't already. Take a few breaths there, just feel and listen to the practice resonating within your body. So let's come on up. Take a little time on our backs this morning. So go ahead and roll over onto your back. You may want to have, or I would like you to have a block nearby. And yeah, if you have a blanket, you may want to use one eventually. We're not going to come to it now, but we will. So just so it's close by you, where you can grab it in a little bit. All right. So to begin, let's draw the knees into the chest. Giving yourself a little hug, just hugging it in. Feeling that stretch to the low back, keeping it minimal. If you are having some back pain, really take care of yourself here. And we'll find our way into Apanasana. Inhale, arm lengths away, and exhale towards you. Inhale, arm lengths away, and exhale towards you. We're still allowing or reflecting upon our intention, knowing that it's energetically here with us, guiding us, supporting us, assisting us step into our best selves, assisting us in this inner work that we do when we come onto our mats. And from here we go ahead and circle the knees around. Big or small, just keep them slow and mindful. We'll massage all across the pelvis, low back, sacrum. And then eventually switching and circling the other way. Bring all that back to center. Hug the knees in and maybe even take them wide, like you're trying to tuck your kneecaps into your armpits. And then just circling wide very slowly, feeling that stretch to the inner thighs and the groin. So I'm taking your time, working around. Coming back to center, and then let's release the right foot into the floor and interlace your hands behind the left thigh. Just do a little work here. This is really nice for the low back and sacrum. So inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten, and exhale, bend. Just move the flow of your breath. So not only is this, we'll feel this as a stretch right in the back of that left thigh and your hamstring, we're also working with the knee joint. You can also play with pointing and flexing the foot or even circling the ankle. We'll do that as we come in and hold too. But you can play with it throughout the movement. And the next time you inhale, let's go ahead and straighten or maintain that straight leg, or working towards straight anyway. Just feeling a gentle stretch that you can maintain here and breathe comfortably into. And then we can very deliberately point and flex the foot or circle the ankle. And notice how it changes what you feel in the stretch through the shin or the calf. You can stay in this position or extend the right leg out along the floor. Try to anchor the back of that right thigh into your mat, and then you'll feel that slight anterior tip of the pelvis to get there. And that really lengthens out that hamstring attachment into the glute. So notice if this feels safe to you. If your low back is tender today, I'd recommend keeping that right knee bent. It's a little easier on the low back. Let's take about 3 to 4 nice slow breaths here. And then we'll release that, place the left foot in the floor. Actually, let's go ahead and extend that left leg. That's available to you. Both legs are extended out along the floor. Just feel the difference. You might feel more tingling or more warmth. And that left leg, maybe it feels longer than the right. And then we'll both bend both knees, placing the feet into the floor. Keep the left foot there. Now we'll interlace the hands behind the right thigh and just spend a few moments here. Inhale, extend, and exhale, bend. Notice what you're experiencing in the right leg versus the left. Just be in your own experience here with this. And then the next time you extend, let's go ahead and hold there. Just feel the stretch in the back of the right thigh. And then if you'd like to, point and flex the foot, circle the ankle. And finding ease and gentleness and flow. And as you hold here, checking in with that stretch, check in with your low back. Would it serve you? You can extend the left leg along the floor. And try to anchor the back of that left thigh into your mat. And you're going to do so by finding, rather than tucking under, notice if your low back is into the floor, flat into the floor. Try to tip the pelvis. Anterior tip of the pelvis is going to draw the back of that left thigh closer to your mat, and it's going to lengthen that hamstring attachment into the glute. Okay? So I'm going to let go of these visions that we have of all these pictures of yoga poses and the knees to the nose, and it's really not the intention here. Just really breathe into your own pose, into your practice, and allow it to meet you where you are today. If we were to say yoga has any goal, it would be about self-actualization, really understanding ourselves, developing a deep personal relationship with ourselves. And we do so through working with the body. Go ahead and release that leg and extend it out along the floor, meeting with the left. And again, notice the right side. Feel the difference. All right, so bending both knees once again, feet in the floor, arms by your side, palms down. Let's play with our bridge pose a little bit because it's so nice for the back. We're going to leave the arms along the floor alongside of you, palms down. Roll the shoulders under you so the heart opens. Just the lower half of the body. Inhale as you start to peel the spine up off the floor. Just taking this to a height that feels right for you. That might be a few inches, or you might feel the upper back all the way into the floor, lifting, and the whole rest of the spine lifting off. And then roll back down slowly, vertebra by vertebra. Neck is neutral here, please. So make sure the gaze is straight up to the ceiling, chin is neutral. Inhaling, roll up, and exhaling, roll back down. It's a nice, slow, fluid pace with your breath. Massage with the spine. Next time you exhale, find your way back to neutral. Pause. Feel. And then we're going to come into our 3-part moving bridge. So now we will engage with the arms. Inhale as the hips roll up. Both arms reach overhead. If you can, we're bringing them to the floor above you. Leave them there and exhale, lower the hips. Just roll the spine back down. And then inhale back up. And lower everything together, arms and hips, piece by piece, exhaling. And again, inhaling, hips up, arms overhead. If they can only come to the ceiling, that's okay. Or if you can bring them all the way to the floor, that's great. Leave them there as you exhale, lower the spine. Just really feel into your shoulders, what feels safe to you. Inhale back up. And exhale together. Let's go a couple more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale the hips. Inhale back up. And release everything together. Let's go one more. Inhale. Reach and lift. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale the hips back up. And exhale it together. Back down to our starting point. Pause for a moment. Feel the echo of your choices, the practice, your breath, your intention. Good. So let's find our way into our double knee drop. Open the arms wide. And then your feet can be anywhere from shoulder width apart to as wide as your mat. Just notice what feels good. I find the wider the feet go, it feels a little safer on people's sacrum and low back, but certainly play with this on your own. Exhale, release the knees to both or to one side. Inhale, open wide. And exhale, allow them to release to the other side. So just slowly back and forth here. Very gentle twist. The inhale opens the knees as wide as they will allow, and the exhale drops them to one side. Carefully, gently, just moving back and forth. And then if you'd like to get the head involved, you're certainly more than welcome to rotate the head in the opposite direction the knees are going. Just a slow, fluid movement. Sacrum, low back, a little bit in the hips, maybe a little bit in that IT band, groin, inner thighs, our adductors. And then of course, if you are moving your head, you're also engaging with a very gentle twist in the cervical spine. When you've gone equally side to side, we'll bring this all back to center. And we're going to take our block at its flattest level and place it right underneath the sacrum. So this is very nice for the low back, for thyroid health. You're going to place your palms on your belly. If that's comfortable, you can also simply open them wide if that feels better. And then of course we have all kinds of options with how you position your legs. You are welcome to keep them just hip width apart right here. You can take the feet a little wider, letting the knees come together. You can bring the feet up off the floor, knees bent. I'm just going to try things out, see what works for you. You can extend the feet to the ceiling. You might have a whole other position that you enjoy. Trust that. It may not be something I've suggested. Wherever you're choosing to find this pose, come into your breath and very gently feel or allow the belly to move with the breath here. Expand and contract. Open and soften. Let's take about 5 or so more breaths here. Slow, steady, extended breath, no hurry. Continuing to relax and soften, release, heal, and breathe. Just be present. And if the feet are off the floor, bring them back into your mat. Slowly remove the block out from underneath you. Let the spine rest in a neutral position on the floor for a moment and just feel the practice once again. Feet parallel, hip width apart. Come into our hip hikers or sliders. Just slide one hip up towards the shoulder and the other. Nice sacral release and low back release. And then bring that to center. Come into our hip pointers. Press into that right foot, point the right hip bone up and back down. Opposite buttocks or cheek stays on the floor. There's no picking up and swinging the pelvis, just pointing one hip up, releasing, and the other hip. Slow, mindful movements, again, for low back and sacrum. Keeping as much mobility as we can in the spine. And then bring that to center and take a moment to just alternate between the two. Do a few hip hikers and then hip pointers. And then I'm going to invite you into Shavasana, extending the legs out along the floor. You can place something underneath your knees. You can place a blanket underneath your head or maybe on you if you're cooling down a lot. And then we open the arms a little ways from your side, palms up. Allow the feet to splay open, so there's no holding of anything here. Let the body surrender to gravity, to the earth. Give yourself permission to be held by Mother Earth. Absorb this practice, receive the benefits, integrate them. As I guide you into a little bit of a breathing meditation, you'll stay in Shavasana. I'm going to find my way to seated to do so. Once you've settled into your Shavasana, begin by simply paying attention to the natural flow of your breath without shaping it, lengthening it, directing it in any way. Just notice the rhythm your breath finds all on its own. No effort on your part. Follow the trail of the breath as it moves into the body and as it moves out. You're bringing your attention to the flow of the breath as it moves in and moves out, whatever that means to you. Notice as you're following the journey of the breath in and out of the body, did you lengthen it? That's okay. As long as it just happened naturally, you're not making anything happen. It's all just occurring in its own way, unfolding in its own way. Now allow your awareness to rest at the point at which the breath stops for just a brief moment before switching. You're not creating this, you're not holding the breath, you're just noticing that moment that the breath pauses to switch directions on its own. Very brief, but allow your attention to rest at those points. However brief those pauses are, we have them in life as well. When we slow down and pay attention, we recognize those moments that we have in our own lives to pause and just be, however brief. attention to the transition. There's a moment in which the breath transition into. Inhale into the exhale into the inhale. So just bring your attention there the best that you can. Noticing what's different between the pause and between the transition for you. Riding that wave of transition. Life is always changing, always shifting, transitioning into something else. Nothing is permanent. And so just feeling into what it means for you to ride that wave of transition in your life, of change. Allow your attention to fall away from anything with the breath. Just be. Taking this moment to just be here now. Giving yourself permission to be in a state of non-doing. And as you do, I'm going to share one more reading for you from the same book, Dana Fall's. I sit on the cushion and watch my thoughts. How strange, this world that I concoct full of worry, danger, details, and possible scenarios that never actually play out. The mind is engineered for this, for solving problems, listing differences, casting about for things to fix. Though it can bind me as effectively as rope and leg irons, I couldn't do without it. And yet there's also this, within, behind, or deeper than the surface mind, there's something vast and unified, where first and last are not opposites, but equal partners on a path so paradoxical it can't be tamed or grasped. There is peace so unmoving it embraces both reality and pain. There is the stark truth that nothing on the mind's to-do list is important enough to lose touch with what's essential. Peace and problem solving are not mutually exclusive. It's up to me to recognize the potential for judging neither as wrong or right. After all, the whole spectrum is contained in a single ray of natural light. Peace and problem solving are not mutually exclusive. It's up to me to recognize the potential for judging neither as wrong or right. After all, the whole spectrum is contained in a single ray of natural light. Taking a few deep breaths, wiggling some fingers and toes, maybe stretching, rolling to one side. And after a few breaths there, find your way to a seated position. And as you find your way to seated and we place our hands together at our hearts, are they together in prayer or left hand on top of right? Resonate. What resonates with you? Breathe into your heart. Breathe in gratitude. Honor yourselves for showing up for you today. And showing up for one another. Creating this beautiful support for each other. Place of community, safety, non-judgment. May you allow your intention and this new moon and this practice today to guide you throughout your day, throughout your week. And I thank you for allowing me to take the seat of teacher. Namaste.